In this video, I would like to look at forms of an infinitive like you will see on Quizlet flashcards in texts that we read or on the quiz that follows this, and help you see inside my head as I look at the infinitive form and determine what type of infinitive it is and how to translate it. This first infinitive, I notice, looks exactly the same as the second principal part of the verb. That means that it is the present active infinitive, and its translation is the same translation as what is given on the vocabulary list. I didn't read my own instructions. It says that I was supposed to actually write the name of the infinitive. I will do that the next time. So I will override this and say that I was right. Here is the infinitive yakera. I see it ends with ere, which looks the same as the second principal part of the vocabulary word given. That means that this is a present active infinitive, and I will translate it the same way as it is translated on the vocabulary list, to throw. Winky ends with an I. I know that it's not the present active infinitive because it doesn't look like the third principal part. I know that if I'm going to make the perfect active infinitive, I'll see issa on the end of it. That makes this and I also know that the perfect passive and the future active are each made up of two words built upon the fourth principal part. So that means that Winky must be the present passive infinitive. To translate the present passive, I will take the translation that I have here and add be after the verb to, and I will write the verb itself in the past participle. So to be conquered. I'm actually correct. I see that the answer on my Quizlet flashcard is wrong. It says present active, but it really is the present passive. Impedire. I see this IR, which reminds me of the second principal part, but it ends with an I instead of an E, so that makes this the present passive infinitive, and I will translate it as to be hindered. Narraturos esse is two separate words. That means that I'm looking at either the perfect passive or the future active. It's built on the fourth principal part. If the first word is spelled exactly the same as the fourth principal part, with the exception of the ending, like it could be US or UM or something like that, but everything else is spelled the same, then I have the perfect passive infinitive. But this UR reminds me of the word future. So this is the future active infinitive, and I can translate this as to be about to tell or to be going to tell. And I can override that because the difference between the correct answer and what I gave is nothing other than some typing errors. Ducturos esse. There again, I see two words, which means perfect passive or future active. I see the UR here, but I don't see a UR here, which means I'm looking at the future active infinitive. And this is to be about to lead or to be going to lead. And we can override because the problem here is that I put the word infinitive in and they didn't want that, so I can override that. Misos esse is two words. That means I'm looking at perfect passive or future active. I do not see a UR, but I do see MISS, just like I have in the fourth principal part. This one ends with US, and this one ends with UM, but that's still okay because this last principal part, the last UM or US is removable or interchangeable. So this is the perfect passive, and it's translated to have been sent. Dixissa, I noticed right away it ends with issa, and I see that it's built on the base of the third principal part. This makes it the perfect active infinitive, and we translate it as to have said. Clausissa, here again I see the issa, and I see that it's built on the base of the third principal part. So we have the perfect active infinitive, and we translate it as to have closed. And finally, I have auditus esse, 2 words, means it's the perfect active or future, the perfect passive or the future active. So I look at the first word and I notice that it's spelled exactly the same, including the ending this time, of the fourth principal part. There's no UR in it. So that makes this the perfect passive infinitive, to have been heard. So hopefully that helps you to think about infinitives a little bit, so that as you go on and do your own sets of flashcards, you'll have a way to think about them as you try to identify the type and translate them.